Okay, so I got some comments about how do I put a three-team parlay or a parlay in general together? Like, do I have any tips to give you, or do I stay away from parlays in general? Most of the time, I don't play parlays, but once in a while, I do play a parlay. Uh, I'm going to show you how I put them together. I was able to hit some parlays last year, some nice parlays. Typically, the way I put together a parlay is not like everybody else puts together a parlay, okay? So these are the games for Saturday in college football. When I'm putting together a parlay, normally what I do is I look at the morning games and see if I have anything in the morning, okay? And I always, if I'm playing like a three-team parlay, I always close the last leg with one of the night games because of the fact that if the parlay is alive, if the parlay stays alive until the very end, I have an opportunity to hedge the bet. Okay, so if I were to parlay these 9 a.m. games, okay, and say I had a 14 parlay going, I would have three teams that won early on, and then I'd have one night game or one game that starts at 4 o'clock. Whereas this is open, this is an opportunity where you can hedge the bet, okay, and make guaranteed money. All right, so that is why I do that. Okay, I always leave myself an opportunity to be able to hedge a bet. Okay, um, that is one tip that I do. Another tip is I normally parlay a money line underdog, a heavy money line underdog with two spread bets. Okay, the reason for that is the payout. The payout is going to pay a lot better than parlaying three spread bets. Okay, you're going to get a lot more value taking an underdog with two spread bets. Okay, it's very hard to hit three money line underdogs, but if you can hit one with two spread bets, that's a really good payout. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example of what I did last year. I had a three-team parlay right here. Okay, a three-team parlay with Iowa State when they had their big upset against Oklahoma on the road with a quarterback that was a freshman, I believe. They ended up winning this game, okay, plus 5,000, all right, parlay to Syracuse and Temple as 2.5-point favorites, okay. This three-team parlay right here paid over $800, okay, for a less than $10 investment, okay, because Iowa State was a plus 5,000 against Oklahoma, okay. So these are the type of parlays that you want to be putting together. Three-team parlays, two of them being spreads with one of them as a big underdog, or not even this big of an underdog. A plus 200 is fine, okay, because these are very hard to hit. But as you see, this paid over $800 for a less than $10 investment, okay. So let me go back to this other one that I like to do is, like I mentioned, I use a big underdog parlay to two spread bets. Another thing that I like to do is parlay two money line underdogs in the same game. Now, you cannot parlay a money line underdog to the full game underdog on the money line, but you can parlay the money line in the first half and leave it open for the money line in the second half on the same team as an underdog, okay? So what I mean by that is last year I had another parlay, a three-team parlay that paid for a less than $5 investment that paid $153, okay? As you see here, this is in college basketball, okay? Providence first half plus 265 against Villanova. This is a money line bet on an underdog. I left this parlay open and I parlayed it to Providence in the second half at plus 360 because this team was up by believe 2 or 3 points, and I parlayed them again to at plus 360 to win this game outright. All right. Then I parlayed it to Wright State as a spread bet, and this paid close to over $100. Okay, for a less than $5 investment. So these are the type of parlays that I like to put together. Okay, it's a little bit different than betting 3 spread bets or 3 money line favorites. All right, that is how you get the best value on these parlays. Okay, so the first tip right here is parlaying morning games to and closing it with one night game. That way you have the opportunity to hedge. Okay. The second tip is parlaying 2 spread bets with one big money line underdog. All right. And the third tip is parlaying the first half money line underdog to a second half money line underdog on the same game. Okay, we just had one recently in the NFL. All right, let me go back to the NFL and I'll show you this bet here. This was on Monday. We had the Jets and Detroit. Okay, if you would have parlayed the Jets 17-10, they're up 17-10 at halftime. As a money line, this would have been plus 3 as a money line. In the first half, you parlay the Jets again. You leave the parlay open. You parlay the Jets again in the second half. All right, let's take a look at what the second half line was. The second half line was -6 for Detroit. So you would have the Jets at plus 280. All right, so you have a plus 280 parlayed to a plus 4 spread, which would be a plus 195. You'd have a plus 195 parlay to a plus 280. That would pay really good money for having the Jets parlay to each other in the same game in the first half to the second half. So those are the 3 tips that I like to go by when I structure parlays together. And I suggest you do that as well. I wouldn't go more than 3 teams because it gets very difficult after you've gone more than 3 teams. And I stay away from parlays at all costs, but once in a while I will play a parlay. So I'll be back with another video. So comment, rate, and subscribe. Thanks for sharing my videos. I'll see you then.